Here are 5 reasons why mechanics are walking away from the automotive industry in 2024. Starting with number one, the pay. Check these numbers out. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, it reads the median annual wage for automotive service technicians and mechanic was $46,970 in May 2022. The lowest 10% earned, check this out, less than $29,000. And the highest 10% earned more than $75,000. So the average mechanic salary in 2022, this is from 2022, so you can kind of project that it's pretty much around the same for 2023, 2024 and up. Imagine if you were just thinking about a trade to get into and you just graduated college and the vocational program and you jump right into the automotive industry. In this economy, do you think you can live off $46,000? Let's just say you're single and you're by yourself. Forget if you have a family or kids. If you're by yourself, you just completed school and you walk into a mom and pop shop or a dealership and the service manager say, hey, I'm going to offer you $20 an hour. In this economy, it will be kind of tough to get by. And imagine the time you invested in completing that school, the money you're going to have to put in into buying tools for the job. And yes, you can earn over $100,000 a year as an automotive technician, but that's the 10%. Most likely, if you completed school and you're just jumping into the industry, you're not going to earn $100,000 a year. Most likely, you'll probably start around maybe making $35,000 a year. So just the salary you're starting off with, even if you're jumping into the industry fresh from college, in this economy, it's a little challenging to get by. So that's one of the downfall. And the other 4 reasons are going to revolve around that pay. Just keep that in mind. The other 4 reasons all kind of tie in into number one. Now, the second reason why people are leaving the trade, the automotive trade today, is because of the complexity of modern vehicles today. Back in the days, for example, if you take an older car, they probably had 3 computers in there total. You're talking about the engine, the ABS, the airbags, maybe 3 or 4. But if you compare it to modern vehicles today, they have over 50, 60 computers in them, all communicating with one another. So not only you have to be a mechanic in today's industry, you also have to be an electrician. That's probably the far more important thing today. If you're in school to learn this business or you're in the automotive business today in 2024, you need to understand electrical. So the complexity in today's vehicle is another contributing factor. It ties into number one because the pay is not so good, but you require a tremendous amount of knowledge. So not only you need to be a mechanic, you also need to be an electrician. You need to be a HVAC tech. You need to be a plumber. You need to be a machinist. There's so many things tying into modern vehicles today. These vehicles today and the concerns that customers are coming in for is not my tie rod is loose and I need a timing belt exchange. It's my blind spot is not working properly. My lane departure is not reading the lanes. My auto headlights are not coming on by themselves. It's things like that, and it's driving a lot of the guys who really want to turn wrenches, who really want to get dirty and just yank out a motor. That's what you think the automotive industry is. I'm gonna sign up for school. I'm gonna yank out some engines. I'm gonna change some oil and do some brakes. No, you need to be an electrician first. If you want to survive in the automotive industry today, you need to understand electricity and electrical components like the back of your hands. So many of the old timers are having a hard time with that. Just, you can only imagine, most of the old timers didn't grow up with computers. So they kind of have a disadvantage in today's industry. So you have a lot of the experienced mechanics dropping out because they don't like where the industry is going. Everything's hybrid, electrical, everything's electric powered vehicles, and they don't necessarily like that. So in today's industry, you need to be all those things. And what do you get for it? To start off with the average, making $46,000 a year. If you really understand the automotive components in today's vehicles and you're really skilled at the job, you are not going to accept $46,000 a year. So like I said, everything's tying back to number one, the pay. So the complexity and what you really need to understand and know about the modern vehicle today it doesn't equate to the average salary. $46,000 to be all those things I listed, it doesn't equate to 46. So starting off, if you're really skilled, that's what you can expect to make. So a lot of the old timers, man, they had enough of that. They want nothing to do with it. So now that brings us to number 3. The third reason why techs are leaving the automotive industry is because of the good old flat rate system. For those of you who don't know what flat rate is, it's the pay format that us as automotive technicians, I'm sure other businesses or trades out there may or may not use it, but for automotive technicians, the popular flat rate system is the pay format we use in the automotive industry. To give you an example, let's say a vehicle comes in the shop and it requires front brakes. That front brake job pays about 2 hours to remove the calipers, take off the rotors, machine it. You get a total time of 2 hours. Now it's beneficial for you for that 2-hour job to only take you an hour or possibly 40, 45 minutes because you already know what size socket to get, how to remove the caliper. So in some instances, you can actually beat the flat rate time. Let's say you did that brake job in an hour, then you're up. If you did it in 40 minutes, even better. But let's take that same example. Let's say you're doing that brake job that pays 2 hours. If you have a seized caliper or a bolt that's rounded off, now that 2-hour brake job can easily take you 4, can take you 5. Sometimes it might even set you another day where you have to wait on parts. So as you can see, the flat rate system can either work for you or it can do the opposite and work against you. So if you beat the book time, you make some money for the day. But if something goes wrong or you strip a bolt, that flat rate system is your worst enemy. But that's not only all. If you're in the industry, you know exactly where I'm going with this. Warranty time versus customer pay time. So now the book says, hey, we're going to pay you 2 hours to do this brake job. But if the car is under warranty, the manufacturer say, I'm not going to pay you 2 hours. I'm only going to pay you 1 hour. So the warranty time when the car is under warranty, if you're working at a dealership, the warranty labor rates are always lower. The warranty time are always lower than what the book time says the job should pay. So the flat rate system and warranty time are really driving skilled mechanics out of the field. Sometimes an evaporator job where you have to remove the whole dash just to get to the evap box in the AC system, it could easily take you all day to do that job. Some cars and trucks are paying 6 hours to do that job. No one is going to waste their time trying to do a dash or evap job or evaporator job for 6 hours. So that's driving a lot of the mechanics out. That brings us to number 4, the stress and tolls it puts on your body. I see a lot of old timers in the shop, probably close to retirement age, and you can see it's a struggle for them. Most won't even touch engines. They won't do anything heavy line. They will do kind of like the simple stuff, kind of use more of their brain to diagnose, but they refuse to do an engine or anything heavy. You could tell they're in pain because of standing on their feet for so long. Even me, I go home with aches because sometimes you're in awkward angles as a mechanic. You're reaching into tight spots and it can be a challenge to get everything out. And you're always constantly kneeling down to set up the vehicle on the lift, picking up tires, heavy rims, doing tire rotations all day, using your strength to break bolts loose. And then you go home with muscle spasm, back aches. I get muscle spasm all the time. My wrist hurts. Sometimes I'm always finding myself just stretching out my wrist and trying to get my sensories and everything working again. And I could see it even right now. So imagine if I'm in the business for 30 years. Right now, I'm going on 14 years in the automotive industry. But for the guys who's been doing it for 30, 40 years, we got some old timers, man. They've been doing it for a long time. I can only imagine what they're going through. So the stress and toll it puts on your body is another contributing factor. And finally, number 5, the benefits. If you work in the city or for the city, you tend to have a little bit more benefit, retirement, pension, those kind of things, the healthcare. The insurance is a little bit more better than if you were to be in a mom and pop shop or at a dealership. I mean, sure, some dealerships will offer you health insurance, dental, 401k. Those things are fine. But on the grand scheme of things, the work and the knowledge you are providing, it doesn't equate to the benefit you deserve to have. If you work for the city or the county, you'll find that their benefits are oftentimes better. But again, you'll still encounter the other four things that I talked about. All those things are just in one big ball of mess. So will things change in the future? I hope so, because there is a technician shortage out there, and those things are the biggest contributing factor as to why that is. So these are the 5 things contributing to why there is a technician shortage out there. Hopefully it will change in the future. Maybe, maybe not. But for right now, it still gets the job done for me. I'm able to cope with some of these things, but I don't know when I get 50 if I would want to be turning wrenches or 60 years old. So I feel the pain for the old timers. And like I said, all the skill that's required to do this job doesn't always equate to the pay. So unless you're shooting for the top 10% income, it will be a struggle for you as an automotive technician. So if you are thinking about joining the industry, learn electrical, learn it like the back of your hands. That's the biggest thing. All the vehicles today are computer controlled. If you understand that, you can thrive in the business. So those are the 5 contributing factors as to why there is a technician shortage. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. As always, guys, thank you for watching.